Hello and welcome to my opinion on Rick and Morty. I'm a very big fan of this show, and I'm going to tell you some of the reasons why I like it and believe it's become popular. One of the things I really find funny about the show, and I think has made it popular, is that it has a very interesting form of humor. For instance, Rick has his personality of not really caring too much about these very weird scenarios throughout the show, where Morty is having this very normal and grounded reaction, which fits really great together. And then the scenarios, for instance, one of the first episodes where Rick and Morty kills versions of themselves in another universe, and Rick is like, oh, that's just normal and we gotta do this. And Morty's just freaking out about it. That's one of the very funny things in the show, which really sets the tone. And there's very weird scenarios throughout the show. Like there's this episode where some big alien stoneheads are like outside the planet, and people start worshipping them and believing that they are some sort of god. But in reality, this is just one big reality TV show in the universe, and it's just so hilarious to see the different responses to this very, very weird scenario. There's of course other scenarios throughout the show which I find funny, but just wanted to tell you about a few of them so you get an idea about what this show is about and which parts I find funny, and I think that a lot of other people also find funny. Then there of course is the many other characters in the show, like Beth and Jerry. It's really, really fun to see their marriage develop and how they contradict each other as characters. Beth, this very strong woman who really likes Rick and want to do everything for him. And then we have Jerry, this very different character who just doesn't take any decision, doesn't have a lot of things to say, and really doesn't like any of Rick's experiments or adventures or anything like that. It's really fun to see how they contradict each other and how they grow as characters. And then we of course has the very big central theme of the entire show, which is the infinite realities. And I really like how Rick approached this concept of everything that can happen has happened. Every idea he's about to do has happened somewhere else by some other version of him. He has this very nihilistic view of everything. And you get these scenarios in the show where he's like willing to sacrifice his own grandchildren and doesn't really care what happens to the world he's in, because he can just jump to another world and doesn't really matter. I find this very funny to see how he reacts to this and puts this idea into Morty's head that nothing really matters. But on the other side, you also see him sometimes saying, oh, I had a plan all along, or I didn't mean to sacrifice you. And then he turns around and say, but I only saved you because then my daughter wouldn't be mad at me. So you never really know with Rick, what does he want? Is he willing to sacrifice them, or isn't he? I really find these scenarios really funny to see them play out and try to guess what Rick's motivation is. And for those who want to dig a little bit deeper into the show and try to find a little bit more meaning with some of the side characters, there's also a lot of things you can explore in the show, like the meaning of life. We have Rick, who made this little robot, which only purpose in its entire existence is to pass him butter to his bread. It's the only thing this robot has to do, and its first question to him is, what is my purpose? And it gets really sad when its only purpose is to do this little menial task. Then we also have the episode where Rick's car battery stops, and it turns out his car battery is like a miniature universe within their universe, which only purpose is to make power for his car. It's the only purpose this little miniature universe has. And it's explored this idea of what is the meaning of existence? What if the meaning of our lives is to make electricity to someone else? How does that affect you as a person? How are you going to deal with that? If that was the truth of human existence, how should we deal with that? And I like seeing this layer of thought, which you may not realize in every single episode, but if you dig into it, you can find it everywhere. And these big questions were handled in a very humorous and funny way. And then we, of course, have the character dynamic between Rick and Morty. As I stated earlier, they very well complement one another, but they also develop throughout the show. We get to see Morty slowly becoming more and more like Rick, and I think it really shows that the show has put some thought into how Morty will react to Rick's presence. I also like the fact that in the beginning, it's Morty serves like a way for us to get an explanation for everything, because he doesn't know anything about these multiple universes or anything, so he can ask all these questions that we as viewers might want to ask and get it answered by Rick without it feeling weird or out of place. But to come with some examples of Morty slowly getting more like Rick, we have the classic quote, "Nobody exists on purpose, nobody belongs anywhere, everyone is gonna die, come watch TV." It really shows how Morty has become more and more like Rick and start to see that these multiple realities really means that nothing happens on purpose. Everything has already happened. And that it shows development in him as a character. And of course, the thing that keeps the show running, and the thing that many fans, me included, are looking forward to, is the mysterious evil Morty. I'm wanting to see what he's all about, and what happened to him, and why is he evil. This has been my reasons for liking Rick and Morty. And sorry for not putting a spoiler in the beginning of the video. I hope I didn't spoil it for anyone, but I'm going to put it in the title. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and consider subscribing. This has been My Opinion Archive.